Good morning and welcome to my kitchen. It is that time of day once again and I'm ready to cook. I've been working on two beautiful recipes this week for you. We're going to kick things off with an Applejack today. So we're going to take a Flapjack recipe. We're going to add loads of apples to it, some California raisins, some cinnamon. It's going to be delicious. It's got all that fruitiness to it. It's going to be good. Then I'm going to put it out there. I've been researching on an amazing taco recipe, but I will share that with you in the other recipe. So first of all, Applejack. Right, got my 4.5 litre masterclass pan on the heat. Now, apples. I found 5 pretty sad apples in the fruit bowl today, and I thought, right, what am I going to do with them? Okay, so they're already peeled because I had the most epic fail the other week. I tried to peel 4 apples, all in one peel, no breaks. I did 3 and the 4th one was a disaster, so I'm not doing it again. I need to get some practice in, don't I, Carlos? So, we'll cut our apples into quarters. Okay, this recipe is great for using up those apples that perhaps might have got left and they're looking a little bit sad and they just, you know, the kids are like, no, I don't want that one, I want the new ones. This is the perfect recipe. You know what I'm saying? You've all been there when the kids won't eat that one lonely apple. Nobody wants it, apart from the dog. The dog would devour it in seconds. But this works really well. And apples, raisins and cinnamon, I mean, it's just a beautiful combination. Really, really good. Great way to use up apples. Great way to maybe add a bit more fruit to your flapjacks. Make it a little healthier. Not massively, but a little bit. Right, so all we need to do now is, I've got rid of all those cores. Thank goodness Pip's not here, or she'll be all over that. Okay, so I'm going to chop these up. I want to chop them up fairly small because I want this to cook quite quickly. If you leave them in big chunks, it's going to take much longer, okay? So nice thin slices, chop them one way, chop them the other way. I feel like this is the recipe I might be sending to our mate Mr. Irving for him to take out with the dogs for a walk, because I think this one would be quite a popular one and a very good recipe for taking out on the fells. So we'll see if he's nice to me. If he's nice to me this week, I'll send him some. Okay. Right, last apple, slice it long ways. Group it together and then just chop into lots of lovely little pieces. Now, meanwhile, my pan has been heating up, so we should be ready to cook. That's what we want to hear, a little sizzle. You don't want too high a heat because you don't really want to caramelize the apples yet. You want to just cook them down, okay? So let's get them nice, thin, flat, even layer. So spread the apples out, they'll cook quicker, okay? So I've got 40 grams of soft brown sugar. That will just give me a bit more flavour than if I was just using white sugar. And then I've got some ground cinnamon. In it goes. And then while that is cooking down, I've got a grater. I'm going to soak my raisins in lemons, but I don't want to waste the lemon zest. So I might as well pop it straight in there. If you're using lemon juice, obviously you can't do this, but it seems like a bit of a waste to not use the zest because there's so much fragrance and flavour in the zest. It's a crime not to use it, really. So while that's cooking, I'm going to cut my lemon in half. I've got my raisins here. I'm just going to squeeze through and catch my pips. And they're just going to add another layer of flavour. They're just going to make the raisins even yummier. Now, I must say, whenever you squeeze lemons, if you've got the tiniest of cuts on your hand, oh my goodness, it really does find it. Ow! Oh! Always gets it. Right, give that a little stir together. There we go. Right, Let's have a little wipe down here. My lemon zest gone everywhere. Right, let's have a little stir. Right, let's break that sugar down. It's crystallised a bit under the studio lights. There we go. So we want that sugar, we want the apples to release the juices and start to work together. I mean, ultimately, you've got apple, cinnamon, lemon juice, and brown sugar. I mean, what's not to love in that combination? Okay. So let's talk competitions. Now, this week, Masterclass have given me permission again, very kind of them, to have another competition for you guys. So if you want to win some Masterclass bakeware. Now, when I say these are non-stick, oh my goodness, they're non-stick. They work really, really well. So if you want to enter a competition to win some Masterclass bakeware, like, comment and share this video, and then that will automatically enter you into the competition. I will randomly pick a winner next week. I'll message you direct, ask for your address, and the people at Masterclass will send you some awesome Masterclass non-stick bakeware for you in your kitchen. So make sure you enter. If you don't enter, you can't win. Right, I'm going to put the lid on, trap the heat in there, okay? That will cook out nicely. So, onto our raisins. Now, let's just give these a nice little mix. They are just soaking up the lemon juice and going to become even more tart. And they're going to cut through the sweetness. It's going to be really good. There we go. Let's leave those to one side. Now we've got a nice hot pan. Let's get our golden syrup in. Now, as I said earlier, if you want the recipe, make sure you scan the QR code that's running along the screen now, and that will take you to masterclass.co's website. That is where all my recipes for all the series, I believe we're on about episode 67 or 68 at the moment, so there's a lot to get through. So if you want to see all the past programs as well, do me a favour, nip over to YouTube, search Peter Sidwell, like and subscribe and hit the notifications bell, and that means you will get notified with email and messages every time we upload another video. It's a great way to go back and look at all our programs. As I said, there's like 67, 68 episodes there now, so there is loads to be getting on with. Right, we've got our treacle in there. You can come in. My little boy is waving at the window. He wants to come and see what's going on, which is fine. So, I've got my butter here. Hello! Come and say hello. In with the butter. Okay, so we've got golden syrup, we've got butter. This is going to be right up your street, sunshine.
What is it?
Apple flapjack. We called it an applejack. What you got?
Cream.
Nice. Good day at school? Yeah? Good. Yeah, so we're making apple and raisin flapjack. What do you think? Gonna give that a go? Yeah? Go on then. Go do your homework. I'll see you soon. All right. Okay, so let's do a recap. We've got our apple in here. We've got lemon zest. We have got butter, golden syrup, a little bit of brown sugar in there. Have I missed anything? Cinnamon. Okay, all those lovely flavours. And the only two things we've got to add now are our oats and our raisins that are soaked in lemon juice, okay? So all I want to do is get that butter and that golden syrup boiling together. So I'm going to crank the heat up now. Because these pans are cast aluminium, so they behave just like the big, heavy cast iron ones, but they are a fraction of the weight. Let me show you. Like they are a fraction of the weight. You can't do this with cast iron pans, okay? You can hold them in one hand, but they perform exactly the same way, which is why I love them. Okay, so we can get the heat up. I know they're non-stick. I don't need to worry about hot spots. The heat is nice and evenly distributed because I use induction. It really gives a really natural, even heat to it. So once we are now up to temp, We can add our raisins that I've soaked in lemon juice. This quite possibly is going to be one of the most delicious flapjacks. It's going to be like eating apple crumble, but in a bar. Oh, right, let's get that up to boil, and then we're good. So we're up to the boil now. We've got all the flavours working together now. The apple and the raisins and the lemon juice are boiling up in the sugar, syrup and butter with a little bit of cinnamon. It's absolutely flying. It smells like apple crumble in this kitchen. It's delicious. So I'm going to turn the heat off. I'm just going to lift this pan over in here into the centre. Is that all right there, Carlos? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Okay. Right, and then in with our oats. So these are large rolled oats, so these are the good ones, okay? And we'll just give this a good mix. And it's important to take your time on this, because what you want the oats to do is to absorb the liquid. And then we will cook it out and caramelize it in the oven, and that's when it will set, okay? So give it a good mix together. Right, all mixed together now. So we'll take our non-stick, this is like a 20 centimetre square brownie tray, okay? And we're just going to transfer it straight in. I like my flapjacks to be quite sort of deep and dense. I don't like them really, really thin. So that's why I've gone for this brownie tin. I think it'll work really well. And then I'm just going to use the back of the spoon just to press everything down. Get it nice and compact. And then it's going in the oven. Right, nice and compact. Into the oven. This is going to take about 30 to 40 minutes at 170 degrees. When it's baked, let it sit and cool before you cut it. You want that butter and that golden syrup that you've caramelized in the pan to allow it to solidify and set. So don't try and cut it when it's warm, okay? Right, the flapjack has baked now. And let me show you, and as I said before, I am absolutely not going to touch this until it is fully cooled down, because it needs everything to cool and set. When you add butter and golden syrup and sugar, you need to really boil it up to kind of make that toffee-like glue that sticks flapjacks together. So give it the time it deserves. It will taste amazing, I promise. It'll be worth the wait. Okay, but once that's cooled down, I'm going to cut that into portions, and it will taste like apple crumble in a bite of flapjack. Okay, right, now it is time to make some tacos. Now this recipe is going to come together today. This is a week's worth of research, tasting, mouth-watering ideas, and just kind of bringing it all together. It's actually quite a new recipe to me. It's not something I've done before, but once I found it, got a sniff of it, had a little play around with it, I had to share it. But let's get on first. So, first thing we're going to do is make the marinade. So we're making chicken tacos, okay? Now, what are they called again, Carlos?
Tacos al pastor.
That's the one, tacos al pastor. Okay, what does that translate to?
Shepherd.
Okay, shepherd's tacos, all right, but they are absolutely delicious. They're massive in America, obviously because of the Mexican connection, but not so familiar to us in the UK, but we're going to give it a whirl. Okay, so let's get on with our marinade first. Now, I've got some limes, so really nice acidity. I've got 3 satsumas that the kids didn't want to eat because they were a bit manky, but they're good for this. And then I've got some pineapple. Now, tinned pineapple I've gone for. So I've got 2 rings there. We're going to get the juice in. So juice of all our oranges. So I'm going to use the Masterclass citrus juicer because it means you get a ton of juice out of the fruit that you're squeezing, okay? So they're really good. You just put them on and squeeze them. You can either turn the juicer or turn the fruit. It's entirely up to you. but you get loads more juice. So you get more bang for your buck, really. There we go. In with the oranges. I would never think to use oranges for a marinade, would you?
No, well, I use it sometimes with chicken.
Right?
Yeah.
I suppose it's the acidity, really, of this marinade that is going to make everything really tender. I get it, but it's quite unfamiliar to me. But I'm looking forward to getting this recipe going. And honestly, please try this recipe. I have tried it several times and absolutely love it. I've tweaked it and evolved it. But if you fancy it, scan the QR code along the bottom now, and it will take you to masterclass.co. And that website is where Masterclass, my sponsors, put all my recipes from all the shows. So you can find everything there. Over 68 programs worth of recipes. There's tons of information there. Go and have a look. Okay, I've got my pineapple, I've got my lime, I've got my orange juice in there. I've got some vinegar going in there, white, red wine, distilled, it doesn't matter what. Then I've got some spices, okay? I've actually got sugar. So I've got my brown sugar going in, got my salt, okay? And then I've got garlic powder. So you could use fresh garlic if you wanted to, but obviously adding the powder gives it a slightly different dimension. It said dried chili powder, but I hate dried chili powder, so I'm going for flakes. And then I've got oregano, and then I have got cumin, okay? So that is all going in. And then I found this rather nice product. I went into Marks and Spencer's the other day. Why was I in there? For what reason? I was in there the other day, getting some Percy Pigs, as you do. And I found smoked tomato paste, which I thought was quite nice. You might like this. So if you can't get smoked tomato paste, use tomato puree, a little bit of honey, and some smoked paprika, and you'll get a very similar product. I know Carlos wants to have a look at that now. There you go, have a little sniff. And then while he's doing that, I'm going to blend it all together. What do you think?
Kind of the first hint is like smoky ketchup-ish. It's like that, the first hint for me.
Yeah.
Then it just goes to, more like something different, but yeah, it's just, it smells nice.
That's good. Right, okay, so let's get this chicken marinated up. Now, it's all about chicken thighs, all right? Chicken breast will not cut it, in my opinion. It will just dry out, whereas chicken thighs have a much longer cook, okay? So we're going to take half the marinade and we're going to pour it over the chicken. I'm going to leave that bit to the side. I'm just going to get some gloves and rub this marinade in. Now I've got some black gloves, plastic gloves here. Makes me look a bit like a tattooist, doesn't it? I know, but I've got a little nick, tiny little cut on my hand, and the lime juice is killing me, honestly. So let's get all that marinated up. This is going to be good, Carlos. Emily has missed another good week of recipes, I tell you. She's going to be annoyed. So give them a good mix, and then just sort of lay them back out, skin side up. Obviously the skins are removed, but when I say skin side up, as in where the skin was, okay? So we'll get those turned round. Now, pineapple. Okay, bit of a strange one, not familiar with this, but it works. So tear your pineapple up. I've gone for tinned because fresh pineapple is a bit hit and miss, if you ask me, in this country. Sometimes you get great ones, sometimes you get lousy ones. So I've gone for tinned, knowing that they're going to be perfectly ripe and taste good. Because you want the acidity of pineapple, which is a really acidic fruit.
With the chicken, it would be better if you left it marinated overnight.
You can leave it marinated overnight, absolutely no problem at all. The longer the better really, but the way to get round it is to do half and half. So I'm cooking it half marinated, then I'm going to grill it, get it really cooked and crispy and lovely, and then we're going to add the rest of the marinade, reduce it down so that we end up with this lovely sort of ragu almost. Right, get rid of my gloves. Save my hands. We'll have a little season up, not too much, just a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and there we go. That is going to go straight under the grill and leave it. Don't sort of be tempted to move it and, oh, it's cooking a little bit too much. You want it to kind of cook and get gnarly bits and all that sort of stuff. So let's have a little wipe down and then we're going to make our salsa. So remember this week's competition, if you want to enter and win some masterclass bakeware, so we've got some amazing non-stick bakeware for you, please like, share and comment on this video and that will automatically enter you into the competition. I will pick a random winner next week and I will message you direct on Facebook Messenger, let you know you've won, send us your details and the lovely people at Masterclass will send you some beautiful non-stick bakeware for you to get baking with. So make sure you enter. Right, okay, let's give this a rinse. So, we're going to make our salsa while that cooks. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Right, time to make the salsa. So I'm going to use my massive Masterclass pestle and mortar because I love it. It's a great thing to serve up your salsas in as well, okay? So, if I put that to one side, can you see that all right, Carlos?
I can see the chopping board.
Can you see this?
No, unless you put it on the chopping board.
Oh, what about
Yeah,
there?
that's perfect.
Is that right? Now, Tomatillo, okay? So, I bought these on Amazon. You can't really get them very easily in the UK. Some people might. If you go to very urban parts of the UK, some supermarkets might have like an ethnic ingredients that, you know, that they've reacted to a particular sort of community of people that want them. I don't know. I live up in the Lake District. We can't get these, so I order them tinned off Amazon, which is brilliant, really. So I'll open them up and show you what they look like. They just look like a green tomato. Do you use these much?
No, we don't.
You don't use them in Spanish cooking?
No, it's Mexican cooking.
It is. So that is a tinned tomatillo, all right? It's a sour tomato. So if you wanted to just use normal tomatoes and maybe double up on the lime juice, you're going to get the same kind of effect. What I would do is cut your tomatoes in half, quarter them, remove the seeds, dice them up, and then soak them in lime juice, and you'll end up with something very similar. So let's make our salsa. So red onion, and we're going to chop it nice and fine, okay? All the best salsas are the ones that people take time and chop everything really fine, and that's when they're really delicious. So, chop the other way, and you end up with a really nice, finely diced onion. And we are going to soak these in lime juice so that it pickles them and makes them really tangy and delicious. So, there we go. Do like a good salsa, don't you, Carlos? Yeah.
This is kind of the same way you will do the guacamole. But it's just kind of the similar ingredients, isn't it?
Well, obviously you've got your avocado, haven't you? The thing with
Yeah.
guacamole, it's very rich, isn't it? And you sort of smash the avocado till it becomes that dipping kind of texture. Whereas this, everything is sort of all mixed up. But it, you know, hey, guacamole would be good with this as well, I reckon. If you do a good one. Have you got a good guacamole recipe?
Just kidding.
Eh? It all relies on the avocado, doesn't it? If the avocado's not ripe, you're going nowhere with it. So it's got to be a really good, ripe avocado. Okay, so I've got green chili as well. So we're going a bit hotter than we might normally do. If I was making salsas, I would normally make them with red chili. Not as hot, but we're going green today. A little bit warmer Okay, so pile your two halves up, chop them into matchsticks, and then pile them together, and then finely dice. I think the green chili has found my cut.
Oh, was it?
Whoa. And now I'm about to do lime juice as well. It's just not fair. Okay. Right, two limes. Squeeze that in. They're nice and soft, these limes, so I can actually get the juice out nice and easily. Hello, Pip. What can I do for you? You wouldn't want a lime or a green chili, believe me. Okay, last piece of lime. Right, all I've got left there is my coriander stalk as well. A little bit of garlic going to go in. About half a clove for me. Otherwise, because it's raw, it will just taste of garlic for too long and too strong. So a little bit just adds that sort of extra dimension of flavour. Now we've got our tomatillo. So you can see they're very tomatoey. They look like a tomato. They're just sour, okay? And because they're tinned, they're slightly softer. So you can kind of mush them up and they can go in, okay? So I think my recipe says 400 grams. And as I said to you earlier, if you can't get them, just use normal tomatoes and soak them in lime juice so they become a bit more sour, okay? But I bought these online, super easy, they just turned up. So clever, you know, you can get some stuff, it is amazing how quick and easy you can get it. A little bit dangerous if I'm honest, a little bit risky. You know, you never quite know what Amazon's going to deliver today because you can't remember what you ordered. And when you've got a busy family and everyone's online, you never know who's ordered what. So, anyway, I think my kids might be a little bit disappointed if they'd ordered something and they got a tin of tomatillos in their parcel. But anyway, right, let's chop these last ones up. Have you had tomatillo before?
No, never.
Oh.
See loads of recipes.
Yeah.
From Mexican cuisine, and I was
Yeah.
like, I knew about them and never seen them before.
Well, we're going to have a taste of them soon. Right, got some coriander, lots of stalk as well, because it's got big flavour, the stalk. Bundle it up, and then just chop it really nice and fine. There we go, that's ready to go. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil just to soften it, so it's not really harsh. And then I've got some salt and some pepper to go in with our coriander. I'm not actually going to mix this salsa until everything is ready because I don't want the acidity to wilt it too much. So we'll put that to one side and we'll go and check our chicken. The chicken has been grilling away nicely with half the marinade, okay? So, and the pineapple as well. So you can see it is just scorched nicely under the grill. That is a layer of flavour, that scorching process. You do this on barbecue if you wanted to. So what we're now going to do is take a non-stick pan. So I've got my cast aluminium, as always, and I'm going to grab my marinade, and let's get a spoon, and let's get it into this pan. So what I don't want is all the watery juice, but what I do want is the ingredients, okay? So we're just going to take our time, get the chicken and get the pineapple out of the pan, of the tray even, and into my pan. And get everything boiling down, okay? This is why we're intensifying the flavour. This is why we're using thigh rather than breast as well, because you just get a much richer flavour. What I would also suggest is make more than you need for this recipe because it will freeze lovely. And it's like when you've got a midweek and you're busy and you haven't got time to make cooking, if you've got this in the freezer, you're going to be laughing. So we're now just boiling that down now, getting it nice and hot. The remaining marinade, so the first amount of marinade is cooking out and really doing its thing. This is going to intensify the flavour. Okay? So get that in. I'm going to cook this down and try and reduce the liquid. I'm just going to add half of that cooking liquid. There we go. And let's get the pan on, but slightly to one side. The reason why I've done that is it's trapping the heat in, but it's allowing some of the moisture out. Now these pans are really good at keeping moisture in because of these little dimples that they have on the lids. But on this particular occasion, I need the water out to intensify the flavour. So just put it to one side like that. You see the steam coming out, Carlos? Yeah, you see? It's all about understanding what you're doing and why you're doing it. So we're trying to get rid of the water. That intensifies the flavour. Tacos need to have big flavours, okay? That is what they're all about. That little medium of a little soft wheat tortilla or taco delivering a powerful punch of flavour. Right. Just while that is reducing down, I've got some fresh coriander. That is my knife. Fresh coriander, stalks and everything, because I want lots of flavour in this, yeah? Starting to smell good in here, isn't it? There we go. There is our coriander ready to go. And all good tacos, in my opinion, need an extra squeeze of lime. So serve them all with some wedges of lime. And if you're cooking for your friends or family, encourage them to squeeze that lime over the top because it makes all the difference. Now, this is something a little new to me. When I researched the recipe and it said about cheese, if you can't get Mexican cheese, use feta. So this is a new one on me. So I've got some feta. We'll see how we get on. Obviously, it's very similar in flavour. So we're just going to crumble it up. Ready? Would you have thought that, using a bit of feta? No. Obviously, what do they call the Mexican cheese? Queso? Quesos?
Queso is just,
Queso?
Queso is just cheese.
Queso is cheese, yeah. So, a little bit of cheese. If you're not a massive feta fan, I would probably use maybe a little bit of Monterey Jack or something like that. Sort of fairly safe cheese. But we're trying to be authentic on this one, so we've gone with feta to make that quesos. So, let's get our limes there ready. And then we've got our coriander ready. Quite excited about this. Okay, let's put that onto there. I'll clear this up. Right. Let's have a little look at what's going on in here. So we're boiling away, which is good. That's exactly what we want. It's brilliant. It smells good. So you can start to just break it up a little bit now as well, because you want to shred it up into little pieces. Okay, you can see the sauce is now reducing down. Now you could take that down even further if you wanted to, but I just wanted to sort of share it with you. This is what we're trying to do, is just cook it down so that you've got chunks of chicken in a much more richer, intense sauce, okay? Now, me and Carlos have just tested this and it is so good. Okay, so let's mix the salsa together. The salsa just elevates it to the next level. I promise you, it is so, so tasty. Okay, so there is our salsa. Let's build this dish. Okay, so make sure you get some chunks of chicken and a bit of the pineapple as well at the same time. Just pop those in there. Really easy to do this as well. Once you've made your marinade, you've done all the work. It's just cook it down. Right, let's pop those. I'm just going to leave those there. And then get your salsa. Little spoon of salsa on top. Big flavours this. Now, if you want the recipe, you fancy giving this a go, and I would highly recommend making this. If you make nothing else this weekend, make this dish. It is banging. All right, it is so good. Fresh coriander on top. And then I was a little skeptical about the feta, but it really, really works. Okay, just that little sort of sourness works beautifully. There we go. And then the all-important lime squeeze at the end. There we go. And me and Carlos argue about this, I love the sour cream. All right? Not a sour cream fan, are you?
No.
There you go, look. 2 out of 3. Good dollop of sour cream. Now, if you want to make this recipe, and please do, because it is absolutely delicious, scan the QR code on the bottom. It will take you to masterclass.co. Masterclass is my sponsor who helped me make this program every week. You will find all my recipes there on their website. And if you want to buy any of the kit that I use, go to cookserveandenjoy.com. And there is all the masterclass equipment there. It's really easy to get your hands on. Now, time to taste. Always a good time in the day. It's a dripper. Oh my goodness, that is so, so good. That salsa just elevates everything. The tanginess of it with the rich and deep flavour of the chicken is incredible. Please, please, please make this recipe. It's absolutely delicious. Go to masterclass.co, get the recipe there. Thank you very much for joining me. I will see you on the next episode.